Happy, 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 happy Tuesday on this glorious July 5th. Well, kind of. Kind of glorious, but not really. Hopefully, everyone had an awesome July 4th. But we gotta talk about Illinois. We gotta talk about the Highland Park Parade Massacre. We gotta talk about this evil monster. That's right. But I'd rather talk about the victims. And hopefully, I could get through this video again. This is the second time, not that it really matters to you, but this is from Alicia Zaleski. A family and I cheered at the holiday park parade when gun violence shattered their joy. That's right, a monster shot up a parade. A monster. It's not even that you just shot up a parade. This was Independence Day. This is July 4th. It's much, much more than just Independence Day. This is celebrating a birth of a nation. This is celebrating a birth of a free nation. I understand not everybody was free, but this is something to celebrate, something to be glorious. And innocents were lost. Innocents were lost yesterday. And I'm not even talking about the people that died. There was kids there. There were people there who lived sheltered lives, and their innocence was shattered over a cowardly monster. And I did skim through this to make sure it did not say the monster's name or even a picture of the monster. Because I don't want to give that dude any credit. I really don't. In case you don't know, in case you were in a hole like I was, because I actually took yesterday off. I was off work. Took Friday off as well. And I didn't really check social media. Yesterday, I looked at it and I saw this story. Pretty much, this monster climbed up to a rooftop wearing, I guess he was dressed up as a female or whatnot, and took pop shots at the parade from a distance. And then he ran and disguised himself as part of the crowd and then went to his mother's house, and then somehow he was caught without incident. Which I'm glad, because he's going to have to answer for his crimes. And then hopefully they find him guilty. And I don't know if Illinois has a death penalty, but this would be a good time to bring it back. If not on the local level, maybe on the federal charges. Maybe the federal government can put this monster down. But this is a testimony of someone that was there. And it starts off interesting. To my knowledge, I've never heard a semi automatic rifle until Monday. Such a neat, orderly sound amid the terrified screams of children and family running for their lives. My family and I were there. That holiday crowd in Highland Park desperately sprinting towards safety we were not exactly sure existed anymore. You know, it is a neat, orderly sound, and it's also an awesome sound when you're at the gun range shooting at targets. That's something that you don't want to hear in public at a parade. It's such a neat, orderly sound of a semi automatic going off. Because that's the last thing you want to hear at a parade or in public. I mean, I know July 4th, people around the neighborhood shoots off fireworks. It did wake me up last night, and it's something I had to deal with. I get it, people like fireworks. I personally don't like explosions. I used to, and then I got deployed to Iraq, and after Iraq, I didn't really like explosions. I don't know if I told that story or not, but these are something that these people are going to have to live with. Maybe some of these people were supporters of the Second Amendment, and they may have been turned away from guns because they heard the such neat, orderly sounds of a semi-automatic as people to next to them get ripped, not maybe not ripped, but get shot into holes. Maybe they will have PSC and they won't want to touch a gun because of this. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. But yes, there was an IED that went off near me, and ever since then, I no longer get joy out of explosions or that rush of air leaving the area. And that was one of those that actually enjoyed that. That doesn't enjoy me anymore or get enjoyment out of it, which means I don't really like fireworks. And also from a distance, they sound like small arms. But continue on. Somewhere nearby, or there must have been a group of little kids who've been sitting on our left and an elderly couple sitting behind us who waved as their grandchildren called out to them on a float. The faces of the young and old who had smiled and waved along the side of us beginning of the parade were transformed into faceless mass of chaos and terror as shot ran out around us. Like I said, I like firearms. I like shooting firearms. A parade is not a place for firearms. And I don't know the solution around this. I really don't. I know there's going to be more gun control, more gun legislation. And if this continues, the masses are going to say enough is enough. Give up our rights. And then we may be in the same position of Canada where we have a dictator that's elected trampling on our Constitution. So I don't think that's a good solution either. But I don't have an answer. I fear that we're going to lose the Second Amendment because of these cowardly acts. Because monsters go to a parade or go to a school or to a shopping center and just senselessly shoot people for no good reason. Because there is no good reason for this. This guy's a terrorist, a monster. Hours earlier, when we were choosing to sit, we had no idea that our choice would determine whether we lived or died. How could we? Our main concern was finding a nice, shady spot with a good view of the parade. We even woke up early so we could set up our chairs and still have time to go to breakfast at a diner on the corner. That diner is now riddled with bullet holes and stained with blood because this monster, this terrorist, decided to have the bright idea to shoot up a parade. Kind of wish he was beat up as he was taken to custody. Wouldn't that bring back the innocence? Wouldn't that bring back the people who lost their lives? It would not bring back or heal the wounds, physical wounds, emotional wounds that he caused this day. I have no words. So I'm going to continue this. Highland Park 4th of July isn't the nicest out there, but I look forward to attending it every year. To me, it's always seemed like the perfect way to kick off our Independence Day. The entire community comes together to reveal in the beautiful summer weather and cheer with musicians on float. Glide past us. Smile and laughter fills the street of downtown, and the heart of our city sparkles with joy of its residents. That is what July 4th is supposed to be. It's supposed to be parades, laughter, cheers, smiles, barbecue. Whether it's good or bad barbecue, it doesn't matter. As long as you have fun and enjoy and celebrate our wonderful country that we call America, or the United States of America, or these America States of America. That's what July 4th is supposed to be. You're supposed to check your weapon at the door and have fun. But apparently, this monster decided it was a good idea to destroy innocence, destroy the sense of security, and shattered people's sheltered lives. All for what? Hopefully, we find out. Hopefully, we find out why this monster did what he did. Now, there's going to be people in this town that won't go to parades because they're going to fear the bullets. They're going to fear what's going to happen. And they shouldn't. I say we shouldn't let this monster live. I think they should go out every day and have a parade in spite of him. That's how we're going to win. We may lose the Second Amendment, but at least these terrorists won't win. But on Monday, there were no smiles or laughter. Pain and horror have replaced any shred of the joy of our community might have felt that morning, most of us. This was the worst day of our lives. Don't worry, it'll get better. It'll still be the worst day of your life. But every day that you live makes that day fade in memory. The hurt will be less hurtful. Not necessarily you become numb, but it'll just be another horrific day that you lived and have a good story. Even though I would love for you not to have that story. For some of us, it'll be the last. And yet, we are far from the first who have experienced such gut wrenching trauma. In fact, we're barely a drop in the bucket compared to the numbers and frequency of mass shooting happening in this country. This is the best paragraph. When is enough and enough? All around, we're surrounded by too much hate and violence. Our country is being torn apart by division, opinions, and beliefs. But the answer is not to spread violence onto the street. Get angry and frustrated to the point of bitterness helps no one. The issues of our nations are facing are far too great and numerous for any one of us to address on our own. We need each other just as much as we need to change in this country. We simply cannot continue to hate and argue with those who think differently from us. We must be able to listen and empathize with one another. Remember the humanity of those we might hurt. There's a few more paragraphs. Because on this holiday, someone forgot our humanity as well as theirs. The crowd was full of daughters, sons, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers. They were fellow Americans, our fellow countrymen and women and children. We're at that parade, and this monster thought it was a good idea to shoot it up. Pisses me off because we don't want this. The people that are staunch Second Amendment supporters do not want this. This hurts the Second Amendment. But I don't know what could have prevented it. There's people that says more guns would have prevented it because it would have created a harder target. JFK had the best security known to man. That still happened. So I don't know. Giving up our guns? Sure. Until the government starts becoming tyrannical on us and we wish we would never have given up our guns. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. Each and every one of the person precious to someone else. The crowd was full of dreams and goals that might go unfulfilled. Futures cut short. We just wanted to watch a parade. No one should have to die at a parade, either at the hands of a guns or the hands of a steering wheel. No one should have died or got hurt at a parade. The parade is one of the most safest events for the participants and for the people hosting. But this person thought to amp the antes up and start shooting. 70 rounds. I think 30 people were hit. 6 people lost their lives. And innocents were lost. Innocence was lost. Everybody there at that parade lost their innocence in some shape or form. Our community is far from the first to be victimized by mass shooting. In fact, so many have come before us that most people have become desensitized to such news. We should not have to live like this. The sad truth is, we do not have to. Violence and death we witnessed on Monday was entirely preventable. How? I want to know how it's preventable. Because we can't prevent this from happening. We can have all the guns taken away, and someone would still find a way to do this. Whether it's driving a minivan or a truck, or have a van full of explosions, or having pressure pots as explosions. Yes, that's the Boston Marathon bombing. Yeah, you take away our guns, and then these monsters will find something else to use. Many would argue that protecting our right to bear arms is protecting our freedom as American citizens, innocent or citizens. I would argue that there is no freedom where military style weapons can be bought and sold to people planning to open fire on a crowd of children. We need those weapons in case our government decides to use their weapons against us. And we don't. I mean, we can get fully automatic, but most of the time, it's going to be single round. It's not even going to be the 3 round burst. But also, what is a military type weapon? Any weapon can be a military type weapon. Hell, my Ruger 1022 could be a weapon of war. A lot of people died from that, from a 22 round. There is no freedom where gun companies can't be held liable for the devastation and destruction of their weapons that are unleashed in our community. Yeah, this is where she's going on the left wing rant. I mean, if you take the gun manufacturers out of business, we're not going to have weapons of wars to fight Russia. I'm just being honest. We need the military type weapon companies because they're going to build us the weapons that we're going to use to fight Russia. I mean, being honest, there's no gun manufacturers, there's going to be no war effort. I mean, and I don't think they should be held liable. Should Ford be held liable if one of their vehicles is used in a crime? How about a hammer company? Or how about a fertilizer company that's used to make a fertilizer bomb? Should they be held liable? How far do you want to go down with the liability? Should bars be responsible for drunk drivers? Should the alcohol companies be held responsible for drunk drivers? I mean, I'm not trying to bash this person's viewpoints, but I just want to expand on the topic of suing companies out of existence because their product caused mass harm. There's plenty of companies that cause mass harm, but we don't go after them in the same manner that people go after the gun manufacturers. That their weapons unleash in our communities, and there's certainly no freedom when people are shot and killed by assault style rifles as a celebration of America and everything it represents. As long as our streets remain a war zone, there is no freedom of America. We need to come together as a community to fight this epidemic of gun violence and ban the sale and use of those weapons or these weapons. We must fight for the future in which Monday mass shooting becomes the last. A future where our children will never have to run from gunshots at a parade. A future in which smiles and laughter prevail and the joy of community survives. I'm willing to fight for that future. Are you? I agree with your goal. I do want mass shooting to become a thing of the past. I do want communities to come together. I do want this to happen. I do wish that our dream can unite. But I don't think taking away guns is the answer. I don't think we have to attack the Second Amendment. I think we need to look into the reasons why this monster did what he did. What type of medication was he on? Was the FBI involved? Did they coax this person in the chat room? I don't know these answers. I don't know if that's true, but there's definitely questions to be asked. And if it's true that he was known for law enforcement, because I think he was part of Antifa, I'm not 100% sure on that. This is what I'm reading on Twitter. Maybe if this person was arrested for a crime and actually charged and prosecuted, he would be on the do not buy list. Yes, I'm all for restricting someone's Second Amendment when they're deemed to be a scorn on society. I do think that certain crimes should put you on a do not buy list. We have a list of do not fly for the airport. We should have also a do not buy list for certain crimes. Because while it is our God given right to have a Second Amendment, that Second Amendment comes with responsibilities. And if you deem yourself not to be responsible, then you should not get a gun or be able to carry it out of your building or of your home. So yes, this I understand the reasons why that they want to ban certain guns. I understand the reason why they want to go after gun manufacturers because a gun is a dangerous tool. It is designed for one thing, and that is to shoot a projectile as fast as possible and to bring down prey. It is designed to fight battles. It is designed to cause harm and death. So, yes, I understand their argument, but I also understand this tool that we call a gun has freed people. It has freed slaves. It has overturned governments that were oppressing them. It has kept governments in check, and they want to get rid of it. But I understand why. I just disagree. I don't know what the solution is, but I think getting rid of guns, yes, it will work, but at what cost? Leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are. Smash the like and subscribe button on all platforms, or just the platform that you're currently watching. But most importantly, live your life. Do not let these terrorists, these monsters win.